Resume recording. Bam. We're good.
We're good. We're ready. It's
We're
Friday.
on. We're live. We're just firing here on a Friday. It's a fire Friday. I was gonna wear the Hawaiian shirt and my flower lei from the time I went to Hawaii in 2003. Let's just say that shirt doesn't fit anymore.
I still have the hat that you got me when you were there. I still wear it when I run sometimes.
Do you know why I was gonna wear that shirt?
Why?
Because I'm on vacation. As soon as this is over, so this is going to be the world's shortest roundup, I'm going to have zero to contribute to it because I'm ready to go to vacation mode. I already set my vacation reminder. So anybody who's on here, email Ben directly next week because I will not be checking my emails. Well, maybe a peek or two just to make sure nothing's on fire. But other than that,
we're going to make this last all night. Going for a couple hours.
You're just gonna drag it out on me. Here's the sad part, I have no plans. Everybody in my house has gone out doing things, and so I'll be launching on vacation by myself.
Sounds nice.
Yeah, it does actually. Yeah, it does actually. All right. So I was just saying, I've had my head down all day. I don't even know what's going on in the world. Why don't you bring us up to date? What's going on?
Yeah, so today, I mean, from a today perspective, I guess the market was down. I guess the biggest headline news would have been Amazon's earnings came out after the close yesterday. So Amazon was down. It was down about 7% overnight, and presently closes about there, down 7.5%. For the day. So that put a lot of pressure on equity markets. So generally kind of a grindy lower day. NASDAQ was down 0.7, the Dow was down 0.5%, and TSX finished down about 10 or 12 basis points. So, generally a pretty quiet day across the board, but overall it was down. Volumes are light. So that was today, but from a week perspective, it's because things kind of happen so fast. We already forget that last weekend, crypto went on a bit of a run, and so from a week to date perspective, you had Bitcoin up about 20%. You had Ethereum up about 15% for the week. All of that happened kind of Sunday, Monday, but definitely a good week for crypto, which is the first good week in a long time, like really solid week in a long time. So those are kind of the two bookends that I saw this week.
Okay.
Great. Yeah.
As usual, I think everybody that's on here knows, but if you have any questions, throw it in the Q&A on the bottom or raise your hand if you want to do a voice question, or you could throw it in the chat here as well. Either way is fine. I noticed you got the Eckhart Tolle book in the background. You like to change those books in the background. You feeling extra spiritual?
Yeah, have you read much
these days, Ben?
Yeah. Eckhart, like that book I got when Lucas was born, when my son was born. Somebody recommended I read that, and I've gone back and reread it, and definitely good, very good spiritual guidance. Something interesting to think about, and kind of talks a lot about the family, and it's brings you, recenters you.
There you go. We should have a Heart Investment Group book club.
We should got lots to share.
Hey, we could. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay. What? Moving along. What did you do in the portfolios this week?
So it continues to be a little bit more quieter because I was pretty active in the last 2 weeks. So this week is continuing fine tuning. I think we've gone into the quad 2, which is growth is slowing. So the data that continues to come out is showing that growth is slowing. The secondary piece to that is inflation, what's happening there. Continues to look like inflation's going to run a little bit hotter than I would have thought 6 months ago. The Fed talked a lot this week. They had a meeting talking about this transitory inflation. Jay Powell's conference was one of the funniest I've seen. If you watched it, like it really sounded like he was making things up the whole time. And I said, making up what transitory means to him. Well, it doesn't mean this, but it means this. But don't read that. That's not what it means. That's not what I said it meant. So he's really kind of really bumbling, and yeah, he really was in control of things up until the last couple of months. And now, because inflation hasn't backed off as quickly as he thought, he's gonna trying to retract and say, "Well, I didn't really say that a couple of months ago." So inflation continues to run hot. So, I've bought gold. We have exposure to bonds again. US dollar was had a good couple of days to start the week, but ended up finishing down about 1% this week against Canadian dollar. So I still think there's lots of upside with the US dollar. So anything kind of commodities related, I've been cleaning up a bit. So had a few clients that still had some Nutrien and some of the exposure to the Mosaic and those kinds of businesses. So I've been cleaning those out. Continue to add a little bit to gold, to GLD, or to the miners. I think that this is one of the best setups for gold and gold miners if we get growth slowing and inflation rising. So continue to tinker with that. So not a lot of dramatic changes. I think we're in the start of this quad 3. So have a lot of those positions on, and I'm looking forward to seeing how those play out.
Okay, great.
Yep.
Great. Yeah, I thought I read something that Biden was considering replacing Jay Powell, or will likely replace him.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Is that the case? Yeah.
Well, 2 weeks ago, he was a certainty he was getting in, and as I say, this week I think they're like, I'll probably need a different voice in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, what else, man? Let's keep this ball rolling here. We got vacation to get to, man.
Yeah, that's true. You do.
No.
You do.
Well, what's important? I'm just teasing.
I
What's
know.
important here? What do we got coming up next week?
Well, I think next week we'll see how this continues. Obviously, today was month end, so it will be a new month next week. Monday's a holiday with Civic Holiday Monday.
Right.
So yeah, so that'll be a little bit quieter next week. But start of August tends to be quieter volume month. But again, typically when you have quieter volume, it tends to be a period where things could move quite quickly in one direction or the other. One of the dailies I sent out this week showed kind of that bull bear setup where you got huge complacency in the markets right now. So I continue to watch it quite closely, and yeah, I considered adding some more puts, S&P puts this week, but I didn't do it. I've held off, so that may go into portfolios next week. I still think that we have that 10 to 20% down on the S&P sometime in the back half of this year. So preparing for that, where I think gold and crypto have a big upside potential. I think there's some good upside with the puts as well. So that's what's going on. I mean, this week wanted to just mention about the Cathie Wood piece that I've been following as well. So maybe we can touch on that.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, so the Real Vision did a 5-part series with Kirill Sokolov. He was interviewing Cathie Wood. So for those of you who don't know who Cathie Wood is, she's the founder and CEO of ARK Funds. So ARK's really that kind of forward-looking fund. But Cathie comes from AllianceBernstein background in traditional finance, economist. But she's kind of come out and really been the leader in future innovation technology. Her firm spends a ton of money on research around what's happening with AI, robotics, genomics, and those kinds of things. So she did a 5-part series for Real Vision this week. It's fantastic and certainly worth the couple hours of watching. But she talked a lot about all of those things, and genomics was super interesting, which we can cover a bit more. But she talked about crypto today, which I thought was interesting. And, lots of people kind of think about where this thing could go. And yeah, her view is she thinks that Bitcoin goes to 500,000 a coin. Tremendous amount of study and research around why and how. And she actually thinks it it replaces bonds in a traditional portfolio. And a lot of it's based around discussions with institutional managers, uncorrelated assets. And yeah, the research that she's done around it is essentially Bitcoin or crypto is the first new asset class, investable asset class since the 1600s. So, as there's a lot of debate around where it fits, how early it is, are we late, are we early? The reason why I think it's so difficult for people to get their heads around is we haven't added anything to investments in 400 years. So if something new is coming into the market, it takes a lot of time, research, trust for the institutions to come around on. And so kind of as a result of that, I think we're still extremely early innings. I spoke with a client today just about payments and deliveries as well, so they have familiarity with that. And the payment systems still aren't quite there yet. So when you think about how far the prices come now, and you think about the potential of implementation, that 500,000 number isn't as far off as you may think.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I follow her pretty closely too. Anybody interested in looking them up, it's actually the name of the company is ARK Invest. So if you just throw that into the Google machine, that'll spit out what you're looking for. Or Kathy Woods, and the website's actually ark-funds.com. I'll put that in the chat here if I can figure out how to do that. Cool. Do you want to talk about one more thing?
What else do I have on here? Yeah, so I kind of ran across and just looked at things that worked and things that didn't work in the portfolio last week. One of the well, as I mentioned, Bitcoin was up, Ethereum, MicroStrategy, those are the big positive performers last week. And there's a couple of negative ones up, which is a Wheels Up, like a private airline company that was a SPAC that de-SPAC. They had a tough week. And the other one was Overstock. So Overstock had really great earnings this week, but the stock was down about 10%. I continue to think that there's a unique opportunity with that. They do a lot of work with T0, and they're working with a number of the central banks in the Middle East, or sorry, in the Caribbean. So I still think there's huge potential. They had good earnings, but the market didn't really like it. So I continue to watch that. And those are kind of the things I look at the end of each week is what did well, what didn't do well. Do we need to keep it, add to it, or make some changes? And those were the kind of the names that jumped out when I did my weekend analysis here.
Yeah. Another thing big in the news the other day was what was it? Amazon, what, third quarter in a row over 100 billion, but they failed to meet expectations.
Yeah. Yeah, so that played a pretty major part in markets today. Amazon's a major weight in all indices. So when a major weight's down 7%, that plays a part in how the rest of the portfolio does. I mean, the other kind of, as you watch how things play out here this week, we had a number of days where some of the areas like utilities, healthcare, REITs, like these things started to perform well, when some of the other things like commodities, consumer discretionary, they had a challenging week. And so I guess when you look at that with Amazon, right, Amazon's kind of a little challenged because it is, I mean, it's a combination of consumer staples, consumer discretionary. But if people are starting to slow their spending habits a little bit, which it appears they are, that'll have an impact on the bottom line.
Gotcha. Okay, anybody have any questions? No questions yet. What do you got going on this weekend, Ben?
Back on into the activities. Lucas is at hockey this evening, and the girls both have soccer games, and Georgia's got keeper training, and they're running around.
I'm coaching a hockey tournament, full on indoor hockey tournament, which might be interesting to people because you're allowed to have full teams. Last year we were only allowed to play 4-on-4. The refs weren't allowed to drop the puck. They had to pull it out of the net, just kind of like
Throw it
outdoor
in the
rink
corner.
style.
Yeah.
But yeah, so full team. So it's like what is that? 16 kids per team, 17 kids per team, plus four coaches on the bench, each bench. Plus you'll have up to 50 people in the stands as well. So Sensplex in Canada, where we play most of it, times that by 4, we're getting 200 people plus, well, 400 people, 400 people in
Yeah.
the
In the
building.
rink.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's exciting. It's good news.
Progress. Hopefully that works out. So
Yeah.
we'll see. Okay, no questions today, so let's wrap her up. Let's start this vacation off right, Ben. Don't
Yeah.
worry, buddy. We'll get you on vacation soon enough.
That
Okay?
sounds good. Sounds
Okay.
good. This is the last thing before we go off here is we did
Yeah.
post another on LinkedIn. We posted another podcast from last week where we cover a bunch of things. I think that went out today, right? And yeah.
So it's live on YouTube.
Okay. Awesome. Good.
For
Yeah.
sure. Awesome.
Cool.
Good reminder there.
Yep.
All right, everybody. Like I said, I'll be off next week. So if you need anything, email Ben directly or joy.reyes@nbc.ca. That's it. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Oh, and I think she's going to be the guest host.
She will next week, next
Roundup.
Friday. That's right.
Oh, I know. I'm nervous. She's going to take my spot.
That's
I
right.
doubt it.
She might.
Okay. She might.
Have a good holiday.
Okay. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Okay.
Bye now.